Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Blood and Sands Jerry Springer, where we last left off. The party began an epic encounter with a beholder, in that it lasted longer than most fights and lasted actually 4 turns. The beholder assaulted the two muscle bound companions of the party, put one sorcerer to sleep, and the vermin that it was using as its guards were being cut down as the sociopath that is Grunt, the Valkyrie, leapt atop and began grabbing tentacles and using them more like a pair of reins on a horse. After Alistair Dartwood quite literally did more damage than the Beholder's entire health pool in a single turn, the fight was over. Loot was given out because they managed to find a false wall in which there was a large pile of gold, more gold than the party has ever seen, and a lot of shiny toys.
To be honest, that's not much of a benchmark though. Our party's skint. Well,
You're not skint anymore.
Yeah.
We hold on to money the same way a sieve holds on to water.
See my new armour.
I don't get it.
So, after discussions with the matron and further messages sent, plans were being made to allow the party to leave the Underdark, which the two companions they had along the way assisted them in this. Effort was made to go to the smith, who then gave out a small gift for the effort and the quote-unquote bouquet of beholder tentacles. From there, the Drow began organizing plans for them to move from the underground up to the surface, how they would do it and how they'd get about it. The party made their way out after contacting... Remind me again, did you make any contact with Scylla, or had you only made contact with Aeon's Soul?
Both.
Did you message Scylla? It's basically
Yeah, I did both.
telephone.
Yeah, he's the messaging pigeon.
Check your chat log. Check your your ring log. I called him at that time. So
Yeah, I messaged both of them.
after a period, Aeon Soul, who, due to several failed deception checks in sending, made his own way to the Dead Mountain. By the time the party had arrived and climbed up to the point in which Bertok is kept captured in a small room by an iron golem who is wielding a dragonstone. The room itself is anti-magic prevented, so no way in or out besides the mound of iron that is in the way. The party began speaking with Aeon Soul, and after several minutes of discussion with him about everything that had transpired in the Underdark, Merrick Firesoul teleported to the area, seemingly having prepared the food and rations for Bertok, that he seems to be the one to deliver to her every few days or so. And it was here Alistair, Delmara, and the others began trying to convince Merrock that the matron could be trusted. It seemed like there was a great deal of past bad blood between the two, or at the very least the two subspecies of elf, and that Merrick was incredibly hesitant. However, natural 20s are wonderful things when the bonuses are also quite high too. And it seemed like there was a hesitation with Merrick, and maybe a desire to listen. After a point, though, several members, very highly perceptive members of the party, began noticing the evidence of an invisible individual at the entranceway, bearing in mind that this entrance point is about 30 minutes up a slope of the Dead Mountain leading into it itself. And it's from that entrance point that two people noticed something. A slight nod was made, and checks and skills were used, and there is an invisible individual there, roughly of the same size that a few people have encountered before. Presumptions were made, and the discussion continued until somebody pointed out that there was an invisible individual at the door. Marok cast see invisibility, and Alistair had to grab his arm to stop a disintegration ray.
I'm holding a gun.
At least it's not pointed at you.
It's debatable.
He's got another gun. As Marok's fingers were outstretched to snap, there was a immense twist in him in that moment of just unadulterated anger. As he shouted out that you have no right towards Guan Xi, Alistair confronted him about the seemingly dubious actions of Galgorant, and that Marok has been emphatically loyal to a dragon that seems to be a manipulator to the party's eyes. It is at this point Guan Xi removed his invisibility and stepped forward. His right hand is behind his back, with clearly he's holding something, and he does have his hand on the sheath of his katana as he stepped in. This heavily scarred, pale hobgoblin with one eye that is entirely black except for a small faint dot of white, and another eye that is entirely whited over but a faint point of black in the center of it.
Wow.
And so stands currently near Alistair and these two. His hands are outstretched in a hesitant of, I have no idea what just happened or transpiring, and he's quite literally waiting for the powder cake to explode. With that in mind, we begin. Alistair, you're holding Marok's forearm, holding it down, and you can, even just there, feel this arcane energy is just surging through his hand currently. He's just holding that spell. There's that flare in the eyes of Arcane as he's looking towards you. And everyone here had better start talking sensibly, very fast. You go from 1 minute telling me that somebody who's betrayed my entire race can be trusted, to the person responsible for killing my wife, who's responsible for an entire siege on the city I lord, who has threatened and killed people I care about, my citizens, my friends. He stands there, and you all expect me to just listen.
Do you have any actual proof?
He is the only person who actively worked and dealt with munitions, and that's not the first time I've seen him call in a shot on somebody. He's called in dead shots before.
That's not proof. That's assumption. Rothaven has its own supply of ballistic production.
Where do you think they got it from?
How do you know that's where they got it from?
I have my ear to the ground on that. I know that's where they got it from.
How do you know he called in the shot? Once somebody has been handed a bow, anybody can shoot the arrow.
A lot of us-
And this is coming from me.
Make a persuasion check. Either both of you can roll one, or one of you can roll with advantage.
You're gonna fuck this up. He just
Actually-
don't
You
roll
roll with
actually-
advantage, mate.
Actually, excuse me. Before you roll, straight roll, Alistair. If you're going to do it, it's going to just be a straight roll.
Straight
Yeah,
roll.
fuck.
Because it started with disadvantage, but you two working together can give it a straight roll.
You've got a better modifier than me.
I'm not even proficient. Yeah,
Should I roll it?
when you're me, you're me.
Ain't no one like me except me. Oof.
He's not.
Oof.
It's the reason Crumblebottom was able to sneak into fucking Duskhaven is because he hasn't got a go. It's at this point, Quan Chi steps in, and he's keeping his eyes on Merok the entire time. But he steps in and begins moving towards Aeon Soul. And Aeon Soul is just reached up and just has his hand on one blade and another hand low as if ready to try and like block or grab or something. Is very tense moment between the two of them as Quan Chi very slowly with his right arm pulls out and just places in Aeon Soul's open arm his own Dragonstone before stepping back.
In this case, this place just became a hot zone.
Well, they do say actions speak louder than words. I think that was a pretty clear gesture.
Out of character, I banish him.
Be gone, fuck!
Which one? There's several people who could be banished here.
Grunt signs as you say that. Wow, that's the
Myself.
smartest thing I've heard any of you ever.
All I can picture now is Buckley, but with like lines drawn on his chin, just going around doing this at everyone.
Grunt likes actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got chicken tendies.
I don't really know where to go from here.
I mean, where do you even start? Because this goes way back. We're not even quite sure how far back it goes.
No, we're not.
Ooh, story time.
It is kind of a story time, yes. And you could arguably start the story with Once Upon a Time, but if you did, I'd worry you wouldn't take it seriously. But, well, I suppose you could say, once upon a time, there was a dragon. He was the son of the Platinum Dragon. But, he did a few things that the Platinum Dragon wasn't too pleased with, and because of that, this dragon was punished. And I think it went downhill from there. I think he thought there was something wrong with him, and he thought perhaps he could fix it.
There is something wrong with him.
Great prop use, Senji.
Right. Galgaron's made some poor choices in his life. And I don't know whether he's trying to rectify them or whether he's trying to fix himself so that he can continue to be himself. We've been out adventuring now on his request for nearly 6 months.
Give or take.
We've been to and from all four corners of this continent, more or less, or at least to the all four interesting parts of the continent. And we're starting to connect lines. And I feel like we're just another link in a very replaceable chain.
Well, as we were informed by our ally, I suppose you could say, I certainly don't think we're enemies anymore. History seems to have repeated itself again and again with people who have tried to find things, and whenever they fail, they're swept aside and someone new is brought in. So, you know what we're talking about, don't you, Merok? Being sent to find strange items of power from other planes, until it goes wrong, and then suddenly you're not needed to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And then after a while, suddenly another group appears. And they're the ones who are being sent out to various places, dangerous places, by themselves.
What I'd be asking myself is, why is it that arguably the most powerful arcanist in the realm sits at home and manages a city? Surely that kind of power is better spent elsewhere. There's a reason why he keeps you so close, but I don't quite know what that reason is. Defense, maybe. To keep an eye on you, to keep you quiet. I don't know. What do you remember from your journey to the Hells?
You're going to have to be more specific as to which one. And I don't, and as he's trying to talk, this entire time, Ansel has just been looking at the orb. He's just, hand is off the blade.
The
Let
one-
them speak,
Yeah.
Merok.
The one where
Let
it
them
went
speak.
wrong.
What was it they went to get? Was it that the one where they went to get the tears?
The Tears of Ioun.
I do have notes, but God, reading through them all.
I'm pretty sure that was the one where they were sent to go and reclaim tears from a pit fiend, I believe, if my memory's correct.
Tears of...
I've the heart. I've got the heart of a Grisha written here. I've got tears.
The Tears of
It
Ioun.
was it the tears? God, yeah.
Oh, not that one.
And he's just looking towards Ansel. And there's just a very slow nod from him to encourage Merok. And for most of you, this isn't even much of a check. There's a lot of confliction currently in Aeon's soul. There's a lot of apprehension in Guan Chi, a lot of nervousness. Like he's just waiting for this to quite literally go off. Merok just puts his back to the wall, lifts up his head straight, and takes a breath. Same as every other time. We went in. We used a little trick of a spell to make ourselves things like paladins and arcanists. Anyone with a lot of touch to a source of magic comes up like a blip in the Hells. Same with any other plane, really. Just the Hells and the Abyss. And the Heavens are the most proactive at watching that. The spell was to just make sure we all seemed like fiends. So even if somebody did get a blip of power, there was a sense of a fiendish presence, so it was left alone. It worked many times. Right up until we came up to him. You've seen him before, the one we're talking about. He looks towards all of you. Faldock, the one who was dropped in the middle of Duskhaven.
Oh, that fella.
We set everything out as best we could, and it seemed that even though we were careful, Faldock knew we were coming. Pit fiends are arrogant, but they're clever. We stepped in, we disposed of a wall and ambushed into the side, but as soon as we did that, before Leo Crow could even get himself into the fight, he had his arm ripped off by a Gristro. Straight off the elbow. And it gored out his eye nearly. If not for the fact that it got him at an angle, it would have taken his entire skull. And we drove it back, and then the room began just filling up with magma. And the Pit Fiend then decided to come off the skull throne and made his way towards us. But Agma, a Garistro pet on a very short leash, and every single fiend in the hells being alerted to us, we had to get out. We lost the element of surprise. We'd have had to have tried to have gotten back to it a second time. Me and Lane and Guan, we set up a nasty little combo that we've done a few times. Cloud Kill, the prismatic wall surrounding it, and Spirit Guardians atop of it. Anything that just makes a chokehold and nothing gets through it. And if it does, it's properly fucked. We make our way out, and flying devils begin swooping in. We get picked at more and more, and they just keep dragging us down. Leo Crow's losing a lot of blood, even if they manage to have to cauterize the wound on him, but he's just almost mad. You never would touch drink before that trip. Now I don't blame him. We began making our way out, and I heard yipping. This high-pitched yipping, and a heavy club to the back of my head, and next time I woke up, Gralain was standing over me after we had been brought through a portal by Bertok.
Funny that, isn't it, how Bertok was the one who brought you back?
There's a reason. I understand that she's done things, or at least has been on the other side of a conflict where she seems a foe, but she saved my life. I want to try and help her. I'm trying to repay a debt in that, and I want to see if she can be saved from whatever's wrong with her. So that's why she... You can see at this point, by the way, he's let the magic subside entirely, but his hands are shaking. And he goes a bit quiet as Aensel speaks. After that, I had to carry your sorry ass out of there. We fought our way up a spiral. They kept trying to pour lava down on top of us, and I'm the only one here who can ignore fire. So I ended up having to physically clog the holes while you were being dragged up. We kept going back to where we knew the illusion where the portal would be. And we prepared to try and make our way out. But up towards the end, and you can just see Aensel's paused. He's trying to remember. My mind goes hazy at that point.
Funny that, isn't it? You think such a key moment like that in your history would burn itself into your mind.
Everything around it did. The next thing I remember, my father and my mother are shouting at each other. And it's like how it usually is when they're shouting. When your parents are shouting at each other, you just hear noise, let's be real. What happened, Juan?
Juan knows exactly what happened, because he was one of the two people who was conscious for the escape.
There was a few others conscious, but they were around a corner. It was a spiral up and then a turn in. I was the second to the high point, along with our dear little friend, who then got unceremoniously tossed out by your father when he said we had to turn back and finish the task, which was suicide, and you know it. I hear a commotion from the back as the portal is closed on us by your father, and I see a weird fiend, almost like a creature of the Underdark that would just clamp down atop a head like that, but it was atop you, Aeon. And Leo Crow was literally biting it off of your head. Pulled you then, and you were just confused. I had already expended too much magic to get us out of there, and then another portal opened up directly underneath us all, and we dropped straight into the sanctum of your father's tower. And Bertok was the one who did it. Everyone else was near dead or out cold, and I'm the only person alive who saw it. And that's why when I confronted him on it, he discarded my concerns, even though he did have a shouting match, as has been discussed, with Bertok, the only other person who was alive at the time. And after what happened at the slopes, and when Guanxi says and speaks in that, and there's that drift back, and you can tell in his head, there is a deep, deep sorrow that he's not even trying to hide, and a deep regret of that moment. I got back to the guild hall, and I found, whilst looking for a stash, a doorway that led down. You should be interested, Marok, to go into that guild hall next time you can. Make your way in, and you'll see people strapped up, being experimented on by something down there. Something that is insistent, that is trying to cure Galgorond of some illness, some phage to his heart. I know I couldn't speak to you. Let's be honest, when you're incensed, and it's very hard to calm you down. I went to speak to Galgorond alone. I hoped I could reason with him. And that was my biggest mistake, was confronting him alone. I had all the information. I had all the know of the situation. I was the only person he had to kill to silence it. And that's why he threw me from the tower, and he presumed me dead. A little fake body for the time, just to dissuade him long enough. And I got out, and I made my way back north. The only place I knew I had family. And I've spent 30 years building up Iranaz solely to try and beat that dragon. Not you, not Aeon, not anyone in this room, not Leo Crow, none of them. Just Galgorond. Just the dragon. Just that mad titan that he is. And he's going to, with all of you involved, he's going to make a persuasion.
Better roll high.
He has luck. You don't need it. You can just tell that there's something unsettling Marok at this point. Like, just this information that he's taking in from both of them, and then just primarily from Guan Chi. There's a long minute, 5 minutes, where he's just silently just staring down and thinking.
We've seen this room. It exists.
I killed a bunch of things that were undead down there.
So, were you all given a gift when you succeeded a necklace? Shape the dragon here. As we all were as well. Guess what the bodies in that room were wearing? Apparently those are enchanted.
Do you actually have one of those?
He flares up arcane in his eyes as he just lifts one up and looks at it. There's no arcane on this at all. None. He looks towards Aeon An Aeon gauntlet has the sigil on it. No arcane on his either. It's a different enchantment on his. It's the power of his actual gauntlets, not the if they're used for spying, as you think, these ones aren't.
Maybe.
Buckley.
Yeah. Buckley, might need you to burn something here.
Could we get some verification on that?
You just see that Marok just reaches out and just grabs the gauntlet of Aeon Soul, and it's more like a panic, like, give me. And he just grabs it, and he grabs his, and he begins casting Identify.
This could be a
There's
bad
a long-
one.
This could go horrifically.
There's a long minute where he's just focusing on it, in both of them. No. His enchantment is a deflection. Allows him to cast the spell Shield from his gauntlet. And mine has nothing on it.
Alistair,
Hello?
may I have Bag of Holding, and may me and you go outside real quick, Marok, to not show this area.
Sure. Alright.
Is there one in the bag of holding?
Yeah.
That way I can show him the one that we have.
Yours is in the bag of holding. Mine's at home.
Mine isn't in the bag of holding. I've used mine.
Yeah, you gave yours away.
When I was-
so
when
the one
I-
that I found.
You don't
Yeah.
have one anymore.
When we were given them, we could told we could use them to buy things, so I used it to buy something.
No,
Yeah.
You didn't.
Oh, that!
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I used it to buy potions.
Nosdo bought it. You kept it on you because you.
She
didn't-
did.
Till-
One,
I
two.
did. I did. Not when it was given to me. When I came back from Rothaven, and while you were being attacked, because we discovered that they were bad. So I was like, well, I need to get rid of it, but in a way that's not suspicious. So I used it for what I was told I could, and I used it to buy
Hey.
something.
I'm the smartest, I got rid of it first.
Mine's at home, but the second one that I got when we were down
That's the one you found in the.
mm,
That's in the bag.
on a dwarven body. So yeah, that's
Hey!
in the bag. I was respectful.
Gonna outside and just kind of having it pointed at the sky, so it's not really.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
basically like you presume it's a
It's a-
function
it's a
of,
c-
like
It's conal possibly thing. Just
Merrick
oh yes,
Merrick focuses on it, like again using another spell.
I just keep my
There's no
fingers.
enchantment on this island. If there's enchantments on these, I can't see them. But maybe it's something that's happened in more recent years that he's keeping an eye on people now. But mine has nothing on it.
Head.
Aeon's has nothing on it.
When you get back to Duskhaven, I left mine at the residence you gave us when we first arrived in Duskhaven. Check that one.
Yes, I think I will. I'll, under the pretense of just visiting.
Sight and
Alistair, the
sound.
bag back.
I understand that this is a lot to take in, And you already
Oh,
feel
you
like
have
you've
no
been-
idea.
And you already feel like you've been lied to by everyone you can possibly trust, and by those that you can't trust. But from what we found, this goes a lot deeper than we originally thought. Everyone we've been told not to trust, we feel like we can trust more, and everyone we've been told to trust, we don't feel we can trust. So we don't know whose side we're really on at the moment. But what we do know is that if we can track down these items that Galgaron's after and play ball for a bit, maybe we'll uncover some truth. If we can go further than any of the previous groups before us have gone, it may unlock more pieces of the puzzle.
Something like... There is something you could do. You remember you mentioned the water?
Yes, the waterfall. The water that he supposedly has in his room.
Well, we
Tamara,
suspect.
could
We
you just move to the
suspect.
side, please? Just move to the side for a moment. And he just takes out the rod that controls the iron.
Oh boy.
Brave.
This is a lot, but if we're going to play ball, he just focuses for a moment.
Please don't hurt me.
Boom, boom. The golem just stops in its place,
He's a betrayer.
and Batak, hesitantly for a moment, steps up. Smart.
Hey, girl.
Aww.
A lot of silent posturing in this room right now.
We're not stupid, okay? We wouldn't have survived this far if we were stupid.
I have proficiency in survival. This is a part of that.
Where to recall? Ow.
You two stop hugging in the corner. Aeon Soul steps up past you guys. And Marok looks between you guys. Whole thing of that magic from it healing anything. I want to see if it's true. If there is a corruption in her, an illness, something wrong, I want her to be able to touch that water, see if it'll heal her.
There is a guardian.
Then there's a challenge, at the very least. I'm aware that this is something big. Right now, I think everyone needs to still be the pieces on the board. Everyone needs to still play their game and play their... I can't leave Duskhaven for long. I can't believe I'm saying this. What am I saying? What am I saying?
Why can't you leave Duskhaven for long?
Because Galgaron will get suspicious.
And then he'll begin investigating you guys and what you're doing.
We need to
Whereas
keep
he
things
trusts me.
He thinks...
And you're doing
he
something
trusts you.
for me for the better.
He may trust you, but he doesn't trust us. That's probably why our amulets were enchanted. Because after he dealt with you, he learned that maybe not everybody will willingly follow him. Looking at Guan Chi at this point. So then he thought he better take precautions with the next group.
That makes sense.
That's what I'm thinking. But I have tasks for you. I have set you these tasks. And you go and do them as you always do. He won't think otherwise of it. He knows that if I found something important, the kind of thing that the more it gets discussed, the more easy it is to find with certain spells, he won't inquire. Because he knows he wants to keep some people from knowing this.
So what do we do in the meantime with these new allies that we have to keep almost an entire civilization secret?
Well, that means we're going to have a nice chat with your brother.
I suppose you could help
Oh
us
dear
with that.
God, I have to talk to my brother about this.
We're on our way there. possibly to talk to him.
I can also just message him or teleport to him, but
He's more likely to believe you.
That too.
yeah, he's more likely to believe me. He'll call you all a bunch of mad cunts. He'll say it in the nicest way possible, but he'll call you all a bunch of mad cunts.
Where does this leave us then?
I don't know. We're supposed to be obliterating the Underdark at this point in time.
Which you've succeeded. However, in my scryings, I have determined that there might be a threat in the mountains. Perhaps the city of this town is attempting to rally giants to their side. You make your way to those mountains. Of course, you are not involved with giants. You are on the mountains, though. See if you can find that path.
Sounds good. It's better that Merok gives the news than us. Last thing I want to do is step into another zone of truth again and roll my dice with him.
Yeah, he wasn't very friendly the last time we spoke to him. You weren't there for that.
I almost died.
It was almost like speaking to a different person, really. Seems obvious to us that he doesn't trust us anymore, which is why we're not sure where we stand.
It's obvious to us that he's not as weak as he tries to make out that he is.
Run signs that she threatened him.
And then she got thrown.
You were either the bravest or dumbest person I've ever met.
Both.
Actually, no, never mind. He's over there, and he points at Guan Pi.
He also got pissed off whenever I said that I killed Bratok. Extremely pissed. To the point that he almost actually killed me.
Yeah. It was a very not fun conversation to have.
Yes.
I apologize to you all that happened.
Hence why we don't particularly want to go speak to him again anytime soon. But eventually
Then
we'll have
let
to
me
because
do
we're
the
playing.
talking.
We're playing along.
Let me do the talking for him.
We can't avoid him forever. It'll arouse suspicion.
Yeah. Well, we've actually...
No, but you don't have any major means of teleportation, so if you get sent to a very far away point, that takes you a while to get back.
Does he know that Buckley can teleport us back to base?
You haven't shown him that spell yet, you fuckers.
Yeah, we've not used it yet.
We've not used it yet, but Buckley did go to the church. I'm just wondering, how many ears does he have to the ground?
A lot.
We'll keep those cards close to our chest.
Still, that spell is only for returning, not for going out.
That's true. So we'll see how that one plays out.
So
I'll go to Scylla.
So we're hiking up a mountain then.
We're going to a
Yay! I like.
You're going to the mountain range in
And
the west.
In the meantime, you have to try to subtly help a city of several hundred refugees without him finding out.
I think the easiest way for us to do that is after I spoke to him last, the corruption did a number on the force itself and a lot of its branch guard that were there to help keep it safe.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine at least a few dozen, if not more, soldiers, all of which are very well trained at espionage, subterfuge, assassination, sabotage, will be very useful in a forest. Now I just need to speak to him on that. And I'm going to say this right now. If the matron is listening anywhere, step out now while this is happening, because that's the only way this is going to work. Because right now everyone is jumping shit at me. You may as well join in and give me your monologue. He just waits for a minute.
No, she's still down there.
She's got an entire citizen to bring up. That's going to take a while.
Yeah, she definitely didn't come with us.
At least not willingly by us, though I'm sure perhaps you could contact her yourself. Maybe.
I could, but this is a lot.
I know.
We're not asking you to completely believe what we're saying, because that's kind of
I cannot believe what I'm hearing.
But you can believe that things don't add up.
And you can do your own investigating in the city. We were alerted to what was beneath the Guildhall by Guan Chi himself. that's when we started to get a bit suspicious, and when we found what we found down there, we suddenly realised that the game isn't played out the way it's meant to be played.
I'll have a little bit of a protection against detection, and me and Leah Crow will go down and poke our heads in there.
Be incredibly careful. I don't know what the hell that thing is that's down there, but it definitely looks weak but acts strong. It has access to some very powerful magical capabilities, and it took us by surprise. We didn't get into a fight with it, thankfully, but it definitely was very much in control of its little world down there. So poke with caution.
To the point of
and
having...
ask with caution.
It's also probably more useful alive at the
Hmm.
moment, because you have a reputation.
Mm-hmm. And I imagine if it disappeared off the face of the world into a pile of ash, he would know, and that would immediately alert him.
You'd
So
probably also take a lot of important information with it.
yes, that's
Just,
what I'm
just,
thinking.
just tread carefully.
Treat it with respect in its own domain.
Yeah, because it does have access to level 9 arcane.
The fuck's a level 9?
Spell
From the ninth ring of
arcane.
magic, Nasta.
Oh,
The most
Because
furthest
sorry, that was out of character. I was just trying to be a dick.
It's difficult to
No.
tell because all your voices are the same.
the most
Ha!
stretched ring of magic, the most difficult to pull from. The stuff closest to the
And-
ring of the material plane is easiest to reach.
Yeah. If physical evidence speaks a lot, which is why we were unsure until we saw that place. So I hope that at least when you see it, it will help solidify what we've told you.
Okay, and yeah. Aeon, you have an enormous sewer system under your. Well, I'm not even going to say it's a sewer system. You have a fortress underneath New Grove, where the orcs occupied. We had to rout them out. We
We?
can begin. Well, you did it.
Thank you, my ego took a back seat there for a second. I was concentrating on something else in my head.
That happens to me a lot too. So, we can begin expediting a few at a time at night underneath New Grove. You have authority there. You can just. If there's any guards you trust, you can have them assist, or you can just keep everyone quiet. Yanero will probably be, and he just pauses as he says Yanero, looking at Guan Chi.
Yeah.
Ah.
About him, I was. That was the thought that made my ego take a back seat. I know we're all about coming out with the truth and whatnot, but I feel like keeping him in the dark for a little bit longer might be a blessing rather than a burden.
He's going to need to know eventually.
Eventually is the key part of that
He's-
sentence. I don't feel like explaining everything to him now is going to make him feel any better about recent happenings.
You just watch
Yeah.
Marok has just got his shoulders lowered. Guan. I'm sorry about your voice.
Ooh.
Yeah, I kind of steps on the toes of what I was
I
getting
wasn't
at
going to bring that up.
there. Yeah.
What?
There's a long moment where Guan Chi is just. You can tell he's trying to keep that noble posture reserved kind of composure. And after a moment, there's just tear down one of the sides there, and he just. It's very difficult for me to want nothing else but Galgaron's death, knowing that he has manipulated one of my sons to kill the others. I had to bring back their bodies. I interred them in the tomb with their mother and their grandfather and any of the ancestry we have. They fought for what they believed in and what I believed in. They died for the same. This is a very, very elaborate game of chess with pieces on the board that are far too sophisticated for this game. And that's
I feel
all
like
he
we're
sees
draft
them
pieces.
as.
I'm a pawn.
That's not a good thing.
That's all he sees any of us as, are pawns that he's playing around with. I don't hold any. I have never, in my heart, held any ill will towards you, Marok. When I found out what Crumblebottom did, I made sure he suffered.
Ooh.
Couldn't have made him suffer just a little bit more.
No, just,
Suddenly
believe-
really interested in the floor. Oh boy.
I believed at the time that there was more elements he could be useful for. I am mortal. I am known to make mistakes. Everyone here is.
Please stop looking at me.
Still haven't forgiven you for the Guildhall incident.
I said I'm sorry! A loss!
What happened?
Shut
Tell
up,
me
Milesdo.
later.
What happened?
I can't remember.
Okay, we all have our plans. Marok is going to go
Going
talk
for
to
a
Scylla first, then he's going to return back to Duskhaven and inform Galgarond that he has sent us to go and deal with the giant problem that is being mounted at Distone, because he worries that they are planning another siege on the town, so that'll keep us distracted for a while. When realistically we're going to go search for the hidden path leading to this legend, myth,
Legendary
Fountain of Youth.
waterfall, yeah.
And Grunt is ready to leave.
and Aeon Sol is going to return to New Grove and attempt to siphon in refugees in a similar way to how slaves are being taken out of Duskhaven. How funny how things come full circle.
Speaking of circles, there is one small thing that's been niggling at the back of my head, which is that child that we saved all those months ago.
The one that died to the Shadow Dragon?
No, the
gold
No,
dragon?
The worm.
You're literally thinking of the drow.
The
You're
worm-
literally thinking
the
of the drow
wormling.
rather than the worm.
When
Oh.
when we met Yanero, he had an egg. Remember, that egg's hatched.
Yeah, it turned into a little boy.
Yeah. What's happening to that little boy now?
Did you abandon a child?
No, we left him with
Oh.
his dad.
No, he was
Yeah,
definitely with his
right.
dad, but we haven't actually
We
seen
haven't seen him in a
time.
long time.
You just, while you're talking about this, there's just Batak in the corner.
Oh, well done.
I'm gonna just keep digging this hole.
You can just see this very, what was a hopeful expression in her with all of this happening between you all sinks.
Good job.
Ooh, she doesn't like me.
This is not because of you. You're only relaying what he's doing. But,
I was just speaking my concerns aloud.
and it's valid to do so, that child being taken away would immediately alert him and put him into an insane level of paranoia, likes of which I doubt he'd even trust his own son or his most trusted advisor. But I don't want that boy anywhere near him. Galgarn in the corner is crying.
You big
Another vermin!
friend!
A cursed demon.
Sorry.
I don't want a child there. I imagine he's attempting to groom him. Just like... Seemingly he did a piss poor job of it though, unfortunately, as he looks towards Ansel. She looks towards him.
Hey! He's a good
That's
boy.
Exactly,
right,
that's
he
what she
is.
needs.
I'm confused.
It's
Now,
fine,
when you
Hans.
need to get something for that chair, Jeebus.
It's a very old chair. I really just need to get me a new one.
So,
You just watch
unfortunately,
as
there's
she just
another problem to think about.
She just lifts Aeon Soul's cheeks up on either side with both hands. You're the best of both me and him. You have the best heart of us. Although you did stab me in the chest, you prick. And she just kisses him on the forehead. Gives a smack in the face. Don't you have a city to manage? What are you doing out here? You're the city's main defender. You've just gone out. And she just begins grabbing him by the ear. Go on.
You okay?
I'll let him have this one because I'm feeling nice. I have a really stupid plan.
Going.
Then?
Yeah.
We want to try and get the newborn away from Galgarond. Does the newborn have a name, actually?
Don't know.
Jeff.
Jeff.
We
We'll go
didn't-
Jeff.
No.
Okay, we won't go with Jeff.
No.
The
Dave.
child formerly known as Jeff.
No.
I know we
Dan,
met it.
Dan.
We talked to it before, but I don't remember the
We've
name.
met it and spoken to it, but I don't think he's ever told us his child's name.
Either way,
Steve.
he's going to want to keep that child around him for as long as is physically possible. Because he doesn't want to let it out of its sight, because he's worried that something bad will happen to him. What if we staged a fake assassination attempt?
That could go horrifically wrong in multiple ways.
Do it.
No. I don't like how you're looking at me.
Not
As you're
you,
both
not
speaking-
one of us, you idiot. I'm
As you're both
talking. now.
speaking, Aeon Soul pipes up. Double.
Excuse me?
That's my little brother's name.
Ah.
Double.
Louis is now going to kindly ask that you spell that out in the chat. As she
Leave me
feverishly taking
I'm the
notes.
only one in this party taking notes!
That's because I have to do all the thinking for you.
I had to sit here
of,
silently.
that of.
There are way too many letters in that for what you said.
It's Welsh.
No, there's not enough phlegm.
Double a kill.
That one. Either way.
Brother.
If we staged a fake assassination attempt that deliberately went wrong, I want to point that out, deliberately went wrong, maybe Merok could use some fancy talking to say that we need to move him to a safe location with his brother in New Grove, where we're setting up a defensible fortress.
Quick question.
You want to try and request, and this is Mara, that he takes his son away from a tower that once belonged to a lich that has almost all of its traps still in place, which implies that you want people to break into it at such a point where the defenses are weak enough that he won't want to keep his son there.
You know my question. That's a better point.
I'm just shaking her head, just like.
You're going to be hard pressed to convince Skalgarond that there's a place safer than his tower.
Right next to him, who he believes is one of the most dangerous things alive.
But that's the beauty of it. Because we don't need to worry about getting past the traps. Because if the seed's planted from the inside, he will then try to reverse engineer his way out of it. And if he thinks that there's somebody who is powerful enough to get into the tower, that the tower's not safe. The reason why the tower is safe at the moment is because it's protected by magic and traps. The reason why New Grove will be safe is because it will be full of armed guards 24/7. If something can get past magic and traps, the only thing that's going to be in the room is the child. You can't get past armed guards if there's more armed guards in the way.
But
if
what's
you're
going to get
powerful enough
past
to break past some of his defenses, you could have.
To get through those defences, you'd need a powerful spellcaster, and a powerful spellcaster can cast aside armies.
Both Marok and Guanchi both lift their hands.
Either of you two able to like place people away in like hidden places?
They both look at each other, shoulder to shoulder, and they're actually about the same height. It's weird to actually see these two people who have been so paralleled for so long
So perfect.
We do.
No
But
offense, Quan Chi, not really interested in you at this stage because I feel like bringing you into the city might do more harm than good. As much as I approve of
Maybe
your
that's
skills.
a good thing, though. How did you get the egg?
Chaos!
How did you get the egg last time?
We got the egg.
look towards Pratak.
Fair point.
No, I was thinking more along the lines of Merok.
Yeah, but what if we make him think it was Guan Chi?
Then he'll go fucking apeshit and leave. We want Galgaron to think this is his idea. That's the point I'm trying to get across. If he feels like there's somebody who's deliberately gone after his son and his son is no longer safe, who's he going to call on for aid? He's going to go to Merok.
Alistair.
Nazda, anything that you're about to say now.
No. This is genuine. Isn't Guan Chi supposed to be dead to Creosoul?
Yes, that's why I'm not suggesting him.
Yeah, okay,
That's
never
cool.
mind. That would backfire.
Go back to your armor.
That's why I'm thinking.
Merok just raises his hand and looks towards Dell. We know somebody who's more than capable of breaking and entering somewhere like that.
And I don't like where this
Or
conversation's
believe.
going. I don't like where this conversation's going. Please, can everybody stop looking at me?
No, not you.
I know
Definitely
who
not you.
you're talking about, and I just don't like it.
What, the fat
Not-
fucker?
And not Alexandros.
No.
No, it starts with an R.
Oh, him.
The
Interesting.
man
And then
who
an
taught
A.
both you and him.
All we need is to put the seed of fear into his head. Who's he going to go to if his
Randy
son
Savage.
was potentially attacked? Who's the first person that he's going to go to? Merok. And what's the first thing he's going to say to Merok? Protect my son.
It's going to take some convincing to get him to do that, though.
It's not going to take any convincing. As soon as he gets attacked, he's immediately going to think, my son is not safe. He's integral to whatever plan he's got. He needs to be taken somewhere safe. Galgaron doesn't have the power to do that because if he did, he'd have already done it.
I know, but I know the Raven's probably the best man for the job, but he's not stupid. He doesn't want to offend someone like that. He doesn't want to get into a fight with Galgarond. He'd much rather remain allies.
He won't. That's the thing. We can set up an elaborate scheme to get Galgarond away for just long enough. Because if Galgaron feels like if he steps out for even a second, something bad's going to happen, he needs to move his son somewhere safer. Merok can come in and say, I have an idea. Of course it's a stupid idea. It's one of my ideas, but it's the best idea that we've got so far.
But why won't he go with the son?
So he has to defend
See,
his tower.
he's got his own stuff to do. He's got his own agenda that he needs
But
to
if the
follow.
son's more important than everything else...
Well, he can call him back at a moment's notice if Merok's used some sort of spell. He'll just be like, okay, I need to see my son. Do the thing. He's not sending it. He's not imprisoning him forever in another plane of existence.
We
He's
just-
just doing a trick to sort of hide him away.
We just want the child to have some other influences. Oh, hello.
Not you.
Meow.
You're a bad influence.
Perfect assassin!
Yes. Say to the
Meow.
dragon.
Anyone who's seen Captain Marvel knows never to trust the tabby.
But yeah, the main we're never gonna get the child permanently away from him. It's just letting him have other influences than his father. Because if the only person that this kid sees day in and day out is his dad, it's not going to be good for them. They need to be able to see and talk to other people and teach them other things.
Hence Merok, who would be able to open some sort of doorway to him wherever he goes and show him to other people that care about him and have a deep blood-related connection to him. Do I have to hint at this anymore? It's
Yes.
perfect. This plan is perfect. I spent a whole 10 minutes thinking about it.
And so just leans over.
Grant's just shaking her
I
head.
could just, say, hey, I want to show my little brother the city I'm working on. I think it would be very good for him to learn to watch a city be built.
You think
Ooh.
that'll work?
Yeah, but there's none of the...
It's the most genuine and obvious thing you could do. And if phrased and
She
presented in the
came
right way,
into
it
this
might
room
work.
and then left to scream.
That's because she doesn't like Das's plan, because my plan has got drama in it.
This isn't a fucking stage performance.
You brought a pistol to
You're
a cannon
trying to-
fight.
You're trying to, I'm going to say this as well, use deception on somebody who probably knows if you're within a mile of his city.
I would like to point out at this stage that I've managed to successfully lie to him as a group 3 times already.
I'd like to point out I see no evidence of that, so fuck you, none applies.
Also, I would like
Here.
to point out that I
That's why I
Exactly.
said as a
successfully
group.
lied to
We
him.
are a team here, Buckley. Do you have my
Fuck
back?
you. He almost fucking killed me.
Well,
so
he's almost
fuck off.
fucking killed all of us, so you know. He technically brought you back multiple times.
Maybe an interesting plan. I don't think you'll get the Raven to agree with the first part of it, though.
Who's the
Nazda, shut up.
Grunt puts a hand on Alistair's shoulder.
Oh, shit. Well,
You hear
you're in
clicking
trouble.
on my spine.
It's less of putting it on the shoulder and more like half the hand is on the shoulder while the thumb is like halfway down the bicep. Like, mitt.
Alistair is suddenly 3 inches shorter.
Yeah, you're doing the Kermit right now.
It's from behind, and it's just to get him to calm for a second before she says, "Logic or reason be damned. The child does not leave a bear's side."
Wolf?
I feel like she was on my side for the beginning of that sentence and then it very quickly fell away.
If she's against you, I don't think it'll go through.
I guess Aeon's suggestion is probably the best one, and
Alright,
also
fine.
least suspicious.
Least suspicious, most genuine, because I actually kind of did have that intention anyway a little while ago. And most importantly, you're not going to be able to break in. And even if the Raven does, the moment he even slips past one of those traps, my father will probably know he's there. And the Raven's good. Raven is sneaky. But I don't think he wants to dance with a dragon for long enough to cause a distraction or a fear. But if a young kid is visiting his older brother, that's going to be the only time this can happen.
Grunt nods
We
at
give
the...
the kid a disease.
Shut up now! Stop talking!
No, wait, Galgron's a clown.
You're not
Literally-
zero! Don't even
literally
suggest that sort of
Stop
stuff!
talking!
Literally, both familial dragons in the room glare at you.
Stop talking
And then
now.
I go, nah, that wouldn't work. Galgron's a cleric. He just fixed it himself.
Okay, I think that line of conversation's been finished now. So,
I still like to point out it was a good idea. The only
so,
reason it failed is because it was never tried.
we're going to go to the mountains.
We disagree.
We're going to go find a waterfall that may not exist, but might do because it. Yeah.
Where's she going?
Back into the room!
Why are you asking me?
You're
Might
second in
exist
command.
because there is legend. But
Alright, you're my negotiator.
Look, if we need the healing waters for her, so
I mean, you know, I'm happy to have this little conversation here with some of the most powerful people on the planet, but I'm not 100% comfortable travelling with her. You know, she's still.
I am.
She's still, you know.
Pretty, she's fine.
well, if you're concerned, we can take precautions that we hopefully won't need to use. Am I right, people? Hopefully, we won't need to use said precautions.
As she said about not being comfortable travelling with her, being the one of the most powerful people in the world, and all that sort of thing, Grunt will just sort of step behind him, just sort of towering over him and all that. Like, I could crush you. Like a
That's why I said one of. One of many.
Can we take the golem?
Can't take the slow ass golem with us.
Maybe he's got like a zip compress feature, I don't know.
We may not be able to take a golem, but we can take a stone.
Grunt signs. Maybe I could carry him.
I mean, I'm also
I'll
not
help.
a big fan of that idea either, really.
Why?
Because who's after the stones?
Keep
Goku.
One.
But they can't detect them. That's one of the effects of said stones.
I'm just
Not
very,
only that-
very nervous about taking an artifact with us.
Well, what do you
At
all
this
think
point,
then?
Pratak, Sepsword, I might actually have some agency in this, if you don't mind. The Drow are going to be sent towards Scylla, and Scylla can be trusted for his secrecy. I could make my way there as well. The forests of Old Fortune are a unique place and difficult to, without the direct aid of the heart of the forest, very difficult to navigate, investigate, or scry on. I could make myself helpful in that area, and we could await whatever our next step. Because no matter what any of you say or do, we cannot ignore the fact that this town is still a threat and is still causing demons to leak into the...
Yeah, this is kind of the reason why I still don't trust you, because as bad as you talk about this tune, you were there. Up until very recently. There's still something wrong with her that we haven't quite assessed, and I don't really feel comfortable with then delivering her to Dustan, to Old Fortune, which is the only other place that we know of that is corrupted. I'm still not 100% sold, even if she has shown that she does care about her kids. I feel like this can come back and bite us, and bite us hard.
You make valid arguments, no, you are right.
Merrick just holds up the rod again. As much as he hates metal and iron, I imagine if I gave this and a stone to Scylla, he points towards the golem, he'd probably feel a lot more comfortable having her, and so long as similar precautions are taken, but in a more comfortable atmosphere, perhaps.
Well, there's the old cave that we fought. Insert Green Dragon's name that
Slarlac.
Alistair remembers. Slarlac. The Cinder Lord.
Shut up.
So, we're walking to Old Fortune.
Are we gonna by Rothaven at any point by any chance?
No.
Okay, just wondering. Don't mind me. Keep going.
I don't
Other direction.
currently have a plan to, no.
So,
I just move us to here for a sec, so that give you an idea, Nazdo. You are here. Rothaven is there, and add another 100 miles.
I mean, apparently we
least.
can teleport this, but I don't fucking know.
We can only
I was
we
just
can only
asking-
teleport to one place. It's not free. It's not a free transport.
It's a get out of jail free card.
It's a very specific place
Yeah.
that you can tell.
We can only go to Duskhaven.
It's a get out of jail free card that we've only tried to use once and it failed.
Hey, Gas.
Hey, Narrowin.
When was the last time I used Divine Intervention?
No, for God's sake.
Please.
I would say that it is actually a case of you'd probably have it back at this point,
Oh,
because
God.
there's been enough days of
Didn't use this at all while we were in the Underdark.
That's true.
No.
Yeah.
And you were in the Underdark for several days, and it was getting close to a week before you even looked at the Underdark.
Are you genuinely going to try and divine intervention this shit?
This is gonna fail.
You say that, you got it to work once before.
Divine intervention.
So
is
he
like
rolled
that
what?
thing
10
happens-
on a D100. Shit happens.
No, he rolled a 6.
I rolled a 6.
Right.
On a-
You have
Buckley,
a
I'm going to say this now. If you want to roll.
What have you got to? What are you asking? Is the first thing before you roll. You gotta think about.
Yeah.
You gotta think about what you're gonna
that's
say.
the thing.
No, because
Okay.
last time we did this, we thought about it for ages, and then we were just like, "Fuck it, roll to see if you can get it," because this could be redundant. This is definitely a
Yeah.
point where we could use divine intervention. My question is, do you really want to use it? If you do, roll a D100, and we'll work on the question afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
This could be a moot
what's,
point. This
What's
could
he
be
got?
half an
What's he
hour.
got to get under now? What level are you? 14, 13?
Well,
I'm now level 12, yeah.
12.
So you have to get a 12 or lower.
12 or lower.
So roll a D100.
On a
Do you want to go
D100.
for it?
Go on. See if you can do it twice.
what's the worst that can happen? Your god will be pissed off with you.
It's Nerolin's
Awesome.
choice.
It's up to you if you want to save it for when things are dire, but
I mean,
you know.
he gets it back every day. Until
Yeah, he
fails.
can retry every day,
True.
and it's only once a week if it works.
Oh,
So.
nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Roll the dice.
Yeah, I said that. I
Roll
got
the
slave.
dice, dice, dice.
There's that little part of me that's like buzzing with excitement at
Right.
the moment.
Roll a 1.
Yeah, just come on, narrow in, narrow in, narrow in, narrow in.
Ah.
I genuinely thought that said 12 then in a minute. I was about to go.
Ah! Explosion.
Buckley, you focus for this time on this calling a request for aid from the god of the craft of Murden, and as you do so in this hollow, empty, dead place, just you can feel that he's trying to reach out towards you, but just the latent negative forces of this place, and that this was once a great dwarven hole that had been ruined, mars his attempts to reach to you.
Fucking Buckley. I got no reception.
Basically,
I got it! I'm going through a cave!
God damn it, you fucking shit phone!
AT&T, you prick!
I love
use the
Moradin's-
hammer, just bang down the wall, bang, bang.
Moradin's just
damn
a
it.
normal sized dwarf, so I like the idea of him picking up like a holy symbol and just being like, hello? Fuck no! And then just puts the phone down. Like just that. I could really do with your help. We're in a difficult situation. Okay, tell it to me. Basically, we're looking to escort an ancient silver dragon that is currently being hunted down by a gold dragon as a long lost love to a place where a green dragon was slain so that they can be held by an
Hello?
island. And he's like, hell no! Just puts the phone down.
At that point, he just goes, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Think he's hung up.
Patrick Campbell.
Inja.
Father. Can't take your call right now.
It was more so what I had, the idea I had planned on doing.
Oh god.
Save it, save it, save it, save it, my man. Save it.
Yeah.
So your attempt is unfortunately not a. But Merrick looks towards you both. All of you. I can get you to the steps of the mountain. I don't know exactly where, and that is an enormous stretch of mountain. He looks between Guan Chi himself and Buckley.
Well, we need to get to Old Fortune first.
I'll get her to Old Fortune.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to fuck off Golem with me. I think I'll be fine.
Slightly
I
insulted
see
by
no
that.
problem.
You do remember what these stones do, right?
Remember what I can do.
Stone literally makes it so she can't do a goddamn thing basically right now as it is. That's why she's been trapped in that hole this entire time.
I could have stood guard if I didn't sleep. Then I had no better things to do.
Alright, anyway.
So we have to go. So we have to go to
I saw that.
we have to go to the tallest mountain peak that's approximately a week past us soon, and we need to find a waterfall that falls from the clouds, which supposedly comes from Mount Celestia.
I mean, in theory, it should be very easy to find. You just keep looking up until you don't see any more mountain.
Yes, that's not the issue. The issue is the apparent guardian, which we know nothing about. The test probably isn't going to be to kill it, Alistair.
I mean, that'd
When
be
you're dealing
fun.
with deities and gods, they tend to do really cryptic, riddly stuff and, look into your heart, whatever it
Have
is
you
they like
ever
to
met the Dwarven God?
do. No. Thank
Well, shit.
Yes, actually.
Yes, but you
He-
can win
he's not
objective games
cryptic.
if you kill all the enemies to stop you from succeeding.
What's what?
Is that why you don't go hunting anymore?
I don't go hunting anymore because you guys are killjoys.
Not so.
And there's nothing to do with the bow
see-
on your back.
Which
Yeah,
is-
no, so you're talking to a cleric of the Forge, of the Forge Father himself, Murden, so yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking.
This guy is a bigger patron of your... This guy isn't even your race.
A
he's a bigger
dwarf.
patron.
I'm just a big fan.
It's all abracadabra to me. I fucking God of Sea is my god.
Yes, I mean,
But not really.
I don't know. Obviously, this is going off a legend. The next question is, if this is magical healing water supposedly made from the tears of the gods, are we going to be able to carry it in a standard glass bottle?
No, I'll make it cry again.
Merrick speaks. At this point, this is matters that
We kind of have to figure out on the ground.
yeah, this is the joy of adventuring. This is a lot of stuff that we can try to figure out on the ground. And as he's talking, you just see like Quan Chi's eyes rolled back into his head for that moment, and you can actually just see the veins, like the shaded sides of them are actually going to the front, and his eyes are flickering for a sec, and it's pretty much like Doctor Strange in Infinity War. The whole
Yeah.
I know where it is. Well, I know where you can start on it. I don't think you'll be able to teleport up to the top. I doubt they'd approve of that.
Well,
But
it's going to be some sacred holy place with a magical guardian, like I keep saying.
I know at least a range you can start in and make your way up. From there, then, it'll be a matter of looking for any signs, any symbols, any indications. I imagine on the ground closest to is where it's going to be the most messy or the most damaged or the most worn by time. But the higher it goes, the
Yeah.
more obvious it'll be.
Just got to keep going upwards. Right, do we need anything before we go hiking up a mountain? Does
Yeah,
anybody
good guide.
I meant more, resource-wise. We've literally just been to the Underdark.
Grunt wanted to say something to Quan Chi when chance arose.
Say it now.
Yeah, go for it now. This is planning stage.
We plan at dawn.
So, yeah, she signs to him. You seem to know many a thing. They're on that ruddy chair.
I'll tell them how to fix it later. Fine.
That's the first time I've genuinely heard.
Nina
You
get
won't
be
irritated at something.
Where was I? Oh yeah, you seem to know many a thing. Yeah.
Knowledge is an expertise. It's been my undoing many times, but yes.
I'm seeking revenge. Brutal, bloody, lovely revenge.
That's got to be an interesting sign.
It's more just like she's like using very simple like words for death and for mess and for things like that, but it's the look on her face that is the indicator of intensity.
Sex.
No. Or should I just say Stangy? For that, I need a belt. Where would I start looking?
For a belt?
Oh, belts.
Well, you've a
Oh.
belt on you.
Cloud or storm?
Oh, you wanna up? The only place I could ever think of that you might find something that big is go poke your head in the Golden Dragon's Hoard.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to do that.
Yeah,
Eventually,
exactly.
probably, by the sounds of it.
Grunt nods ahead, and then signs done.
No, that's not.
You shouldn't have said that.
Shimmer just looks over his list and goes, Dimension Door.
She's not get. She just raised an eyebrows like I'm in no rush. It's just if that's how it has to be, that's how it has to be.
I'm very patient.
I have a question for anyone,
Oh, God.
really.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm missing memory. Can anyone help?
Oh, that.
Yeah.
That sea spirit. the sea spirit memory thing from Rothaven's Nest with Nosdo a little bit.
Well, what she said,
I
I
couldn't
don't
tell.
fuck. I told you! You don't ever pay attention to me.
I
was
don't,
worse as he actually did.
I don't know if we ever discovered a cure for that.
I mean, I'm more looking at dragons.
If anything, Buckley's probably the most likely person to be able to help with that.
Would fixing his
And
memory
feeling
actually
that we
do
are
anything?
going towards water that presumably
I mean,
heals
it's probably
anything.
nice. It can't be nice to have holes in your memory.
It's alright, Grunt solved it for me. We're good. Go. I need to drink some.
Out of character, but yes.
Great Restoration didn't do anything.
I
Nope.
don't remember. I don't think he cast that.
No, but this was used on other people. And,
right.
It seems
Yeah.
more like this is less of a spell and more.
Because it was
of
literally racing stuff from history
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Like,
Yeah.
Quite literally, people were being erased to the point of not even their memory remained. They were just chum.
Not
Yeah.
as difficult remembering some of the things that he's allowed to remember by nature.
See, the thing is, I never forget crewmates. I at least remember their faces, and I can't remember anything apart from the fact that one of them threw herself off a ship, and two other were also there with me at one point. But that's
So
about
every
it.
conversation we had took place on a wooden flooring. You'd remember everything.
Well, no,
I
but
like how he's
like-
genuinely thinking about that. That is worrying me.
We should get back on topic here.
let me put it this way.
Oh.
All the people here... Okay, most of the people here I know because I saw them before. I might not necessarily remember the names, but I knew I met them. I can't remember... It's difficult. I know I don't remember something, and I don't know if it's important or not, and I'm afraid it might be, but... It's fine, it's not important. Let's move on.
Sorry, Das, was Guanchi about to suggest anything else, or was he just saying that he didn't know? And the gold dragon thing was just...
That was more of a I didn't intend you to literally do it, you mad bitch. But, you know, he didn't get that. The
But
only
yeah,
other
when she was
places
writing
you
the argument, it
could-
was like, if you have another suggestion, I'm all ears, but I will take down a gold dragon if that's what it takes.
You can certainly try. You wouldn't be the first in this room, too.
Well, I feel like we've sort of, in a roundabout way, come to a conclusion of what we're doing next.
Indeed.
Can we please have a rest?
Yes, I would definitely second that.
Just got back from the Underdark. I would like to see the sky.
Okay, well, America speaking. I can't stay here long, so I'll come back in the morning and I'll get you to the base of the mountains. And Guanchi speaks as well. I doubt you trust me, but I could take you there as and save him coming back and the suspicion of him teleporting around.
That'd be better.
That's fair. Probably would be better.
What?
Merrick can teleport herself and the golem into the forest, and he can have that wonderful conversation with Scylla, and Ansel can simply fly back.
What's the current daytime situation? Morning, noon, dusk?
Sun just set.
Yeah. so
I'm
just
sleepy, let's go.
We might as well rest here because we've rested here before. If you know, it's either we sleep in this convenient cave or we sleep in the middle of the desert. We're not
The only
anywhere.
difference is we could leave you. I could leave you down by the end of the mountain on the side you need to travel. But if you, I could try to come back at dawn's break tomorrow and teleport you.
I say we head to the mountain now and we'll rest there.
But we don't know what's there. We know what's here.
Yeah, there could be Duragar about to break through the floor. You don't know. There's dangers everywhere. Live a little vicariously. Besides which, there's not a lot of game around here. So if we're looking for something to eat, it'd be easier for me to do it somewhere that's, you know, not so well.
You do
travelled.
have rations.
Yeah,
I have
rations.
wine.
That's not right.
Having
That'll
sleep-
survive. That'll make.
Yeah, it is.
I'm more concerned.
Making him leave the city twice as opposed to once would be a bad thing in our plan. We should go now.
Yes. See, Shimmer knows where it's at.
Fine, okay, I'm outvoted apparently. Because that's what we do, was we vote, apparently.
This is democracy.
But she looks towards everyone and goes, well, that's the beauty of democracy. And
That's why
looks
we have
towards
politics.
Talk and Marok and Aeon. So I hope we all see each other again.
Fucking better.
And this is going to be on better terms.
Yeah, we could get another photo taken.
It's a photo.
Painted.
I cast capture image.
You see, Nazda, I fabricated the thing called a camera. And it takes
Right.
instant paintings. Called
Yeah,
pictures.
man, you could sell that. Fuck this party, just go to the town and hey ho.
I fabricate some silver nitrate paper.
Oh god.
And I also fabricate a dark room.
What's worse is you could.
I could! Yeah!
Don't encourage him!
You just don't know that you can use a flash of light with silver and that to make your...
He'll
And he-
accelerate through 50 years of photography and immediately arrive at the selfie stage.
No, this is like in the Adventure Zone when he said my eventual goal is to recreate the taco, and then halfway through the session, the DM's just like, you get knocked over the head and you have this vision of grated cheese, so he gets brought back to consciousness and he just goes, grated cheese! And everyone goes, what?
I mean, I let him get hit in the head so
that's
hard he
what
remembered he
he's
was a
planning
cleric,
for.
so
Selfie
Lord knows
camera.
what we can do.
One of the greatest character developments ever.
Taco, taco.
At this point, Guan Chi extends out his hands and begins casting, as Merok does as well. And the two keep their eyes on each other as they're casting. And until that last moment where they both shing, and you guys essentially arrive right here. You arrive at the base of the tower there, or base of the mountains there.
I can't move our cart.
We were at a mountain, we're on a mountain again. We're in the same place, what the fuck?
No, it's dead.
No, we were inside a mountain. Now we're outside.
Sanji, you were there! You are now here.
Ta-da.
I am Nosto, and I know nothing.
It just got a hell of a
Also-
lot darker.
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
We can also see the place we were just at. Possibly.
Probably.
I mean, well, maybe
The
I'll see the
distance,
mountain
yeah.
in the distance, yeah.
Yeah, if there's
Maybe.
something
It's
in
a
the way.
mountain.
Considering it's 180 miles and the world has like, you know, a bit of a bend to it. And...
No, actually we don't. You can only see 3 miles until the equator, until the
The
horizon.
Well, a
so-
mountain you'd be able to see maybe 20 away, but still.
Yeah, that's gone.
That's pretty fun.
It is
It
fucking
depends on how
dark
big the
here.
mountain is.
And in this nighttime, while like all of you who have dark vision are looking around, and it is just you can pretty much only just see like one eye, like only like slightly illuminated from Guan Chi.
Why'd you look
Guys,
at
it's
me?
dark.
Why'd you look at me? You looked at me.
What? You're always looking at me! Oh, I'm not allowed to look at you!
Guys.
I light a torch and give it to him.
Oh, thank you.
Wait, sorry, I don't have torches. I ain't got fuck all.
Oh wait, you're going adventuring? Need one of these.
And she looks towards all of you. That was incredibly stupid and somehow worked out.
Yeah, why did you do that?
If I had sent anyone, they wouldn't have believed it.
Why did you need to send anyone? Why at that particular moment in time did you feel the need to just lay everything out? You could have, like, forewarned us or, you know, done it not in a cave.
How many times is he away from Galgrond a day?
I feel like he's got you there.
Yeah, I mean,
The forewarning.
How many
I feel like
times-
the forewarning.
How many
part
times is
the
he
important
around? How many times is he around Aeon Sol, the one person who now is the only person aside from Leo Crow he trusts?
part. The forewarning part is the important part. if you know that he's gonna be in that cave to regularly give Ratok food, then all you have to do is just be like, everybody reconvene at this point on this day. It's not too hard to have a little bit of warning, especially when...
Banshee, why didn't you forewarn us about something terrible that happened? How very inconsiderate of you.
It's not the same, Alistair. Don't even pretend it's
No,
the same.
you're right, because no one nearly died from this one.
You don't know, okay? Don't talk about stuff you don't know.
Hi, Guanshin. How's the Gatebreaker? Nice to meet you. I don't think we've met.
We actually haven't yet. A pleasure. He
Don't talk
explains
about
Really
everything.
stuff
laying
you
down
don't
for a nap.
understand.
I'm
It's time to
beginning to
sleep.
understand, because every time I see him, he keeps taking chunks out of me.
You're only missing an eye, ish.
I'm not missing an
I
eye.
start making camp. Well, they're arguing.
They're having a
Mommy
domestic.
and Daddy are fighting.
It's an
What's worse is
upgrade.
it's like
Shiver's off cooking. Grunt's
Mara
off
and Alistair are just bouncing off each other. There's one of the most powerful archmages in the entire world, and everyone else is just like, fuck it, I'm making camp. That's
I
Tuesday.
help
Yeah,
camp.
just falling
Don't
asleep on the
pretend
ground.
and convince yourself that you know, because you don't.
I don't know how bad he is, but I still know that he's bad, and I still know that when there's danger, you alert the rest of the party to it and not just look there like an idiot.
Again, how many times do I just have to keep repeating myself? You can't make assumptions about how things are going to be.
I mean... you kinda can.
Shut up, Nolstone.
They might be wrong, but you can make assumptions about it. That's how...
You have even less right to comment, because you weren't even fucking there.
Well, excuse me for being enslaved for a fucking month.
No, that was when you were out.
That was
pissed
when
off.
you were in the fucking tavern.
I think
Oh,
was actually
that.
about prime time for him to come and attack us.
Hey, I came back, and I almost finished it. I'm still pissed off. He got away from me. I wanted to
See, your
finish
inner
that.
demons are shouting at you for your hypocrisy.
There's a mountain cat in the corner.
I think
Shut
it's
up back then.
things. They are rather dangerous.
Yeah.
It's a puma.
A puma patata.
Look, you
Oh,
have
hello
too much
there.
pride, and you need to be a
Grunt
bit
is-
more transparent, apparently. I don't know what's going on. Just
Grunt's
stop
gonna
shouting.
stand up and see this mountain cat making noise, disturbing her. And she's going to throw the hammer of thunderbolts at it.
Fucking shut up!
Bing!
Ooh, dinner!
The hammer flies back to you, smeared in.
Does this thing
no, it
actually
doesn't fly
come
back to
back?
you. No, it doesn't actually. No, it doesn't
No.
actually. That's only
No,
the
it's
dwarven
not,
thrower.
It's not a
Gotta pick
dwarven
it up.
thrower.
Yeah, you gotta go get that shit.
How far was it? Did you do the chain?
She just yeeted it. Whoop!
It makes a sound up to 300 feet away.
Oh boy.
Is this a
Yeah.
stealth mission?
And
Not anymore.
Or is this the Payday Gang breaking into the
and
FBI
everything within
facility,
30 feet
reloading and
is
shooting
30
everything?
feet is stunned if it doesn't succeed a DC 17.
Well, the cat was about 40 feet away, and you just fucked it at it, so.
Okay, well, hopefully, if there's any wild animals that around here, they're now terrified out of their brains.
So the cat's dead. I'll go collect the meat.
Yeah,
Just
I was
begin
about to
dragging
do
the
that.
body.
Grunt just drags that over to Shiver and is like, here you go. To bed.
Let's start meal prep.
This is the
Why don't you
equivalent
just
of
look around
Americans
at all
fishing.
of you?
American fishing!
You've got a perfectly skilled hunter out here who's perfectly capable of going and getting game, and you've just thrown a bomb at the first thing that you saw and went, woohoo, food!
Grunt just palms the hammer again, as if to.
Like I'm being
you
attacked
sort of
here.
get the suggestion that the cat was annoying her because of the noise,
Alistair,
so it
if
got.
you- do you really think you could walk away and hunt right now with her talking to you like that?
I just need the picture of the meme again. You're all so fucking stupid.
Bonchi's just sat there going, parties.
This is what our party's like, though. Grunt's upset that we're shouting, and then she goes and throws a fucking thunderbolt hammer to say she wants quiet.
You
Well,
two,
She emphasized her
not-
point.
you two are not allowed to talk to each other without me.
What difference
Alright.
does that make?
Because none of these will stop you from killing each other one day. Look, you're gonna murder each other. It's inevitable. I've seen it already. It's just... You know, it's like a vision. I just know.
We're going to murder each
I
other.
mean, he probably ain't wrong, but you know.
There's worse things than death.
Okay, do you
Spanish.
not want to kill her? Do you not want to kill him?
No.
You're lying. You do.
Guanchi
It's
is like,
Not therapy.
Guanchi looks
I mean-
towards all of you. So if there's nothing else,
No, there's nothing else.
So
Bye.
good luck. And
Rob
should
says,
you
"Thank you."
succeed, then you could be doing quite a lot of good for the world. He just snaps his finger and he's out.
Ah, damn it! I had a good one-liner for him. Never mind. I'll say it.
You can save the world. Yeah,
Quick
The world
question.
fucking deserves it.
As the map portrays it, is this just one giant mountain range?
Yes, quite literally, this is basically, give you an idea, at least 300 miles this way are wastes, and just a massive wall was erected a la the Great Wall of China, and it's large orc encampments and orc raiding
Yeah,
worlds
that's
are down there.
fine.
This mountain goes past that shit. This mountain goes 400 miles this way, all the way up to Guanchi's empire, and then just like sprawls into the very heavily mounted world there.
Calm down,
How
Spook.
Tall
Please
are
don't.
these mountains?
Now, I'm not. You're right.
Sorry,
You're right.
I've just realised that we've teleported halfway up a Toblerone.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, just like Toblerone, I see. What the fuck do we do with the cart? We can't take it across a mountain.
No, the cart's only
Well, we
there
don't
as
have
a
a cart.
representation of the party, that's all.
Never
You left the
mind.
cart there.
It's a
Going.
dramatic representation, and don't assume it's just perfectly triangular.
That's what it looks like.
For 400 miles. It's not perfectly straight either. It's just a dramatic representation.
Can I eat it?
You're a dwarf,
I go to bed.
probably.
I'm going to commune
Oh, this is the problem
with
with
my
taking.
god,
This is the problem with taking A-level geography.
because I can cast it as a ritual.
Yeah.
Why have you been ignoring my calls?
Didn't have to
actually.
cut me off!
Oh no.
Why do you never look at me during?
I'm going to ask 3 questions. Be
Okay.
answered with a yes or no.
Or maybe
First question
love me.
is... Fuck off, Sandry. First question is going to be... Is the waterfall filled with god tears actually truly real? The second question is going to be, are we near the mountain where it resides?
I feel like the second question should wait until you've received an answer to the first question. If it's a no, are we close to it? No, because it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Well, the thing
Okay.
is,
Well, that's fair. But he's asking the question, Spook, so you shush.
You do technically have to ask them all at once as well, I think.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you gotta make a list.
You make a list and
Oh,
then they
shit.
list off the answers.
does it exist? Are we near it? And is there a guardian?
You focus on your holy symbol with these small candles that are lit around you as you look into the campfire. And the flames of it crackle, and you just feel like your just vision is drawn into it. And you can just hear the repetitive, continuous sound of just a ting, ting, as you feel darkness around you but fire from underneath, like you're in a great hall with a massive forge. But in that very, like, just glanced side, you can see a very muscular dwarf just working and tinging away. The fountain is real. Ding. Ding. And he doesn't speak. It's when the hammer blows strike that the reverberation echoes out to you. You are close to the mountain from which it is belonged. And then finally, the Guardian is very real. And with that, as the hammer blows strike, your vision is just drawn, looking towards what they're working on. And you can just see an axe with dozens, if not hundreds, of jewels, with this golden shaft and base of the actual axe head. Beautiful, almost. You can't tell if it's a mithril, some other adamantite used. Just ting, ting, and your vision is drawn back to where you are.
He was forging the finesse axe for Nosda.
Huh?
Nothing. Okay. So,
Good news or bad news?
we are close. It is real, and so is the Guardian.
Good, and good.
Again, I feel like I need to reiterate that our first option shouldn't be to kill it.
Why not?
Because
course
these
not.
it's probably some kind of divine holy creature. Because it's protecting a divine holy place, and gods tend to frown upon you killing their stuff.
Yeah, bigger challenge.
We are testers to see how good the Guardian is at actually guarding, and if it's not good enough to survive against 6 mortals, maybe
Hang on a minute.
Guardian. Alright, fine, we'll do it your way.
How are you the chosen god?
He's a what?
How is he the chosen half-elf of an elven god?
I don't like the emphasis you put there.
Everyone makes mistakes. Don't
Well,
worry
you're
about it.
only
Says
half
the
right.
human chosen by a dwarven god, but hey.
Again, everyone makes mistakes. Don't worry about it. Oh,
I mean-
fuck.
Gonna need a level up for that burn resistance.
His fire.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm just jealous of my Super Saiyan swagger.
I could use that bow just as well as you.
No, you couldn't.
Do you want to test that?
No.
Okay, we go
Don't
to
need to.
we go to. Oh,
I don't need to test it because I already know it's true.
Also, it's not you technically using that ball half the time, so fuck you.
It bloody well is.
Right. Jesus, take the wheel.
When's Jesus going to take the wheel on your brain?
Who is Jesus? Why are you repeating after me?
It's actually Hoses.
No, it's Hosea.
Give me a minute. Daldir, take the wheel.
Daldir, take the wheel.
Wait, what?
Are we sleeping now? But what the fuck?
I assume we're resting now, because...
You're having some delicious mountain lion.
Yeah, Shimmer's making us a stew that consists of
Out of mashed mountain lion, yeah.
lion and mountain lion.
Got some veggies.
Dell probably actually eats like her own rations and chooses not to eat the food that Shimmer gives her.
You've made a poor
It's like
choice.
mashed potato, but made
I'm
out
sure
of
she...
mountain lion.
Have you met Delmara? She constantly makes poor choices.
Have you met Grunt?
She is eating... She is not eating the food that Shimmer is preparing.
Is she eating with us?
Define
no,
with...
she is asleep.
I don't sleep. Define with...
Around us like a communal person or a bitch.
Grunt, oddly,
We've already
does not seem-
established she's a bitch, so.
Yeah.
Grunt, oddly, does not seem interested in feeding Del.
Character development.
Everybody's feeling weird tonight.
I mean, if you're feeding people...
Del is with the party in her normal sense, in that she's probably only about 15 feet away. It's like, literally on that sort of border of, any further away you're not sitting with us, but you're a little too far to have a conversation with.
I'm gonna go sit next to her.
She will just move away from you.
I'll keep following.
Take,
Off into the dark they go.
take the hint, Nosdo.
No!
What
You
is,
we don't have to talk!
what is the
fucking
environment
Tiffany.
like here, actually? Is it still desert?
Here
I'm the
it's...
ranger. I'll ask those questions. What's the environment like here?
It's about knee-high dry grass.
About knee-high dry grass.
Oh, really? I couldn't see that with my elf eyes that are better than yours!
They're not.
25 passive perception!
120 feet of dark vision, see through magical darkness, and I've got the eye of a god.
Being third watch.
So you'll definitely see that crossbow bolt
Thank
that
you.
went into your chest.
Well, not back then.
I don't need a god to be able to see your bullshit.
Would you like some mending for that burn?
Usually the teammates I travel with are competent enough to shoot at the enemy.
I forgot, I meant to ask earlier, how tall are these mountains? Are they like snow-topped? Or...
Yes, because I couldn't get to it.
What more do you want? It's tall grass.
In case a Pokemon
I go hunting for
pops out.
Pokemon.
No, Grunt's Thunderhammer basically was just propel.
It's all the grass, something like that.
Both made the same joke.
The Tyranitar looked at that and went, fuck this, I'm out of here. That basically chucked me.
So, Das, did you say that was a yes that it is snow-topped? Or...
There's several different varying heights. Like, none of these mountains are even in their height or proportions. There are some that are as low as maybe, like, there are points where, like, say, you could see it, and it's like, that's maybe half a day's travel to reach the top of it. There are some that are, you can probably guess maybe 2 or 3, and then there's just up into the clouds.
Is there very little, like, actual skyline that we can see? Are we, like, in the midst of, like, a valley within the mountains? Whichever way we look, there's just, like, mountains ascending around us?
No, give you an idea, you're more like at the precipice of walking in that kind of valley currently. Like, it's going from, like, the grasslands which you're next to the hard stone and very soon sloped vertically.
With those indignant trees that are like that.
I will grow here, damn
We'll
it!
grow here. I do not care. I like them trees. They're funny.
They're called dwarf.
I picture them like that.
Grunt signs to Shimmer, actually just basically engulfs her food all in one bite.
Oh, she's
And
chewing, yeah.
just signs, we'll be lucky if half the party can make this mountain climb tomorrow. We should get this rest.
Yep, fair enough.
I like that idea.
I look reasonable. I was about to say I look reasonably healthy. I look healthier than I used to.
True.
I still look vaguely sick,
Take the boat off.
but I look healthier than I used to.
Who's to say which half of the party Grant was speaking of? Using the
Just
word
my
speaking of loosely.
And to be honest, we do have a person trying to climb a mountain in full plate, so
I'm a dwarf. I know my way around the fucking hill.
I wasn't talking about you, Slag.
He's a 60-ton mountain goat. Fuck you, he ain't a bit.
Yeah.
Don't put it
talking about him.
You don't go up mountains, you go
I was
into
talking
them.
about
Difference.
Buckley.
Buckley's got plenty of strength on his side. He'll be fine. Also, he worships the dwarven gods. Fuck. He'll be alright.
This is Grunt's
so-
terrain.
Yeah, Grunt.
First compliment
Mama Bear's
you've
come
ever
home.
given me.
Probably the last. Cherish it.
And she's not convinced you're all of strength to do this properly, so depending on which mountain we end up having to tackle.
This
I
is the
mean,
weirdest
I-
thing about this is that in nearly any other party you'd be right, but there's a lot of alcoves and shadows there. She could just go. Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, I may have the strength of a twig, but I've got other abilities to allow me to climb.
Honestly, Shimmer's the only one I'm slightly concerned about.
He can fly.
He's got my boots.
We're fine. I don't know what.
Why are we so concerned?
Wait, I got the flying.
Not to mention I have D-Door.
Or you do have.
I got the
There-
flying boots.
Yeah, there's a flying carpet as well.
Where?
Yeah, we have a flying carpet.
Yeah.
Got it
Oh.
from.
Yeah,
Got it from.
I'm
Ryan.
currently using Grunt's currently using it as a blanket.
Got it from
Yeah,
Ryan.
she's currently using the flying carpet as a blanket, which you got from Rothaven from
It's one of the many things we
the
looted from Hammond.
Burton.
Yeah.
Oh,
We've never used it because Grunt is the one who carries it, and Grunt is the only one who can't use it because she's too heavy. But if we reach a particularly difficult part, that's an option.
By the way, be careful looking for shadows and all that. If we do end up going above the cloud line, it will just be bright light. The ground will reflect it. There'll be no clouds to obscure it. It will just be bright, bright, bright. All the goddamn
There's always
time.
shadows. There's always shadows. Believe me, I've been thinking about how you could catch somebody like Crumblebottom.
You cast a
There's
big
always-
enough shadow that she can use.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
You can just King Kong your way up and she follows you like fucking Mario.
Yeah, if Grunt gets to the top and someone like Buckley is at the bottom, Del just has to say, "Stay still." Okay, I'm at the top now.
Yeah, some of you particularly pale buggers might get burnt up there.
Again, that's
Oh, but it
also gonna be
burns.
me.
I feel like you guys take shadows very liberally, but okay.
It's a shadow.
It's not an inky
I basically
black
am a
shadow.
mountain. I cast a
It doesn't
shadow.
say
on
it needs to be inky black. It just says it's a shadow.
Yeah.
It doesn't say it has.
That's
where
why,
did you,
that's
where
why that
did you get
ability
inky black
came to-
from?
I just feel like that term's being used very liberally.
It doesn't say inky black. It says a shadow.
Yeah.
So
I
a
define
big enough
shadow as
shadow?
an absence of light.
Darkness is the absence of light.
Alistair,
Shadow
the DM is saying shush, his physics is otherwise to yours.
I mean, to be fair, if you have two lights,
Everybody's allowed
and-
their own broken thing, Alistair. You've got yours.
Your
Where's
broken thing is
mine?
apparently you can stealth in front of somebody's eyes. I stab him in his front and he is surprised because I stealthed.
Naren, yours is that your AC is off the charts.
Narrowed.
Naren. Dozda.
How dare you?
N-word.
How?
Anyway.
So, who's doing first watch? Buckley's doing third.
I'll do first.
I always do first and last. I sleep in the middle.
Oh yes! Dal, get in there. Look.
I'll go for second then.
I'll take second as well.
I'll go third then.
I sit next to her and say nothing.
Actually,
I say nothing.
who's going with
also.
Buckley again?
Buckley's on second or third watch, so
That's Alistair. Did you say you were taking? Oh, you were taking second.
Alistair is
smile at
taking
you.
second with Shimmer, and then it's Grunt and Buckley at the end.
Okay.
So, you all find your ways to sleep. Anyone who wants to do any roleplay during the night, you can go ahead.
I sit very closely.
Please don't.
Not that closely.
You're like a foot away from her.
Yeah.
Personal space.
No, not nature.
Yeah, use Spook as a reference. How far away is it? Just say when he's too far now.
Lower. Lower. Yeah, that'll do. Just like that. Like that.
I want to screen cut that.
I mean, Del was complaining, or rather, Blue was complaining that Del's the shortest in the party only because we're so damn big.
No, actually, he's the shortest.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So now that he's back, you can't make that
No,
complaint.
Alistair, before Nosdo was here, Alistair was the shortest.
I don't eat. I just drink heavily.
was
I
thinking of the
offer.
raw
You don't
onion.
drink, do you? You
No.
don't drink. Never mind. I don't. Anyway.
I guess I'll probably mainly keep an eye on like the skies and stuff, seeing as I've already seen something flying through the sky during the night. It's perfect.
That's a new meme there. That's a new emote.
We're gonna have to caption the shit out of that one.
That is that can literally be a new meme.
I keep
So-
cleaning my armor.
So it'll be another 2 to 3 rests it'll take you.
I thought it was 8 total.
Okay, yeah.
I've done
yeah, 'cause
two so far,
No, you were
so-
getting help with people is the thing. So people were giving you a hand.
Fair
Like, I think
point.
Buckley
Make
gave
that
you
a 3.
the first time. So as long as next time, like if you do another watch with say Buckley, for example, you'll be able to do.
Only filthy.
Gamora,
No rush.
give us a perception check, just to see how little can fucking hide from you.
Hey, I rolled my passive perception.
Mine isn't that bad, I think. Yeah,
It's not bad, but it's not that.
Okay. No, wait, no. Hang on, just to spite her. Fuck.
I mean, that's a good modifier, in fairness.
I thought I'd roll higher. Never mind.
You would have had to basically.
Here with the 12.
You would have basically had to roll a natural 20 to beat me.
Shut up.
If you had rolled a 19, you would have had the same roll as her. But anyway, so throughout the night, nothing.
Good.
It's quiet here. Just the bit of a wind every now and again. That's about it. And your watch ends, you kick up the next two, and you go to bed. And Del, you find yourself to that meditative state you always. And as it continues, you begin hearing chatter. But
Fucking perfect.
no, I'm sorry that.
That mountain tavern early.
I mean, she's got her timing down perfectly. The door is
And
I can
open.
repeat on you.
It's muffled chatter, though, like from the other side of a wall. And your eyes open, and you're at a desk, writing, but it's not your hand. It's thin. It's there's a half-drank chalice, and it's weird. You feel like this, but you reach for the glass, and you just see it being drank, but you have no control. It's literally like you're just watching. And you just hear a... Do come in. So I take it you've found yourself quite accommodating here after all your efforts. It's been greatly appreciated, brother. As the head looks up, and there is arms folded, chest puffed out, arms behind the back folded. Alexander.
She's got brother.
Yes, it's been quite an interesting affair. Learning everything you've done in this city. He's just inspecting his hands. See, in my time here, as short as it's been, I heard the oddest tale, if you'll indulge me. I heard, my little Lotan brother, you decided you wanted to rule when, and you just see the hand just like stretch out and just put his hand over his Lotath. And when this happens, and like you have a little glance into the mirror as it happens, it's the ruler of Distum.
Oh.
And you just like, as you look back, and you see the hand is just ripped suddenly. You just hear already a bone snapping. You just decided that Mother wasn't good enough to rule anymore. So you decided while I was off world trotting and building up a reputation to, and you just hear several more bones breaking in the hand, and it's just this you don't understand, and you just very quickly you just see the hand reach up and the head is just smashed against the desk, and he just pulls back for that second, and the hands change. And you just see the figure change as it just pull back. There are now 6 fingers.
Ew.
The skin is black and leathery, and you just see a tail drip down as they're now seemingly in the air, looking down at Alexandros. But there's a moment where they blink, and he's not where he was, and they just crash into the desk. You feel, you don't feel, but you hear snapping, and you just see the wings fall limp. You hear more snapping, and just 2 horns fall in front of you. I heard you took a lot of fun with her, as you just see the head being lifted up and being pushed against the wall. I hear you did a lot to her And he's just like holding him, very almost, if not for the fact of what's happening, very tenderly, hands to either side of the cheek. I hear you did quite a lot with her. He's just like rubbing away the tears that are just pouring down the face. But you're not going to see that anymore. And you just see the thumbs. And that happens during your sleep, and when you startle awake, it's back for your third watch. Yeah, Nelson's gone. He's still got another sleep to go. You're up now with Buckley and Grunt. Oh, by the way, they're both awake at this point, and they both see you doing that. So the very animated, awaking Delmara, just rubbing her face, just and just like looking at her hands for that time, and just rubbing her.
Being an elf, she meditates, so I'm looking at her like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, that's the most unsettled you've ever seen Delmara wake up. I'm not even going to make her roll a deception check. You can't roll a deception check for that. And unless either of you two say anything, your watch goes on event.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, Buckley.
Oh, I had that. You okay, Del?
That was, I think, no, bad dream, that's never happened before. I'm gonna go for a walk. I need some air.
Grunt sort of looks around at the vast expanse of emptiness that we're in,
Yes.
and then just
Who's awake at this point?
Only Buckley and Grunt, because they're on watch.
Grunt unsurprisingly doesn't say anything, but it's like, okay, if you say so.
Yeah, Buckley. Buckley, you don't even need it. I was going to say, you don't even need it. Del, you should say exactly how you're feeling.
How I'm feeling is that I'm reliably talented in deception.
Roll it then.
I'm gonna say not that reliably talented.
What does that make that a total?
16.
Nah.
Damn it.
Yeah, he literally.
Yeah, she is clearly really, really stressed and really concerned by whatever has just happened, because while she doesn't sleep, elves do have quote-unquote dreams, so she's never, like, woken up in alarm before. Like this. Basically never seen this. She's concerned and confused. She doesn't understand what's happened.
Right. So that could help in this situation, but there is not. So.
I was gonna say, you're basically up for now because you've had your sleep, so you could prepare a spell.
Well, yeah, that's.
You're literally up now preparing the list, so you can just go, okay, we're gonna change that.
Well, yeah, that is exactly what I was doing, but actually, no, I can't do this. I'm going to cast Calm Emotions on her.
Depends if Del resists or not, but I doubt she does.
Yeah, no, I think she'd probably appreciate calming down at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're just like about to walk off, and as you do, you just like see that heavy gauntleted hand is just reached up, and it's rare for you to have a big man's hand just like reached out at you, and it's not a grip, it's just like a hold for a second. And
There
just
is
see that energy
the
wash
flinch and the panic for a second, and then it's like, oh, it's Buckley.
Yeah, and in that moment, like, the calmness washes over you, and whilst you're now able to, like, properly articulate what you've seen, it still happened, but you have a moment of steadiness with your reliable friend. Buckley, unproblematic fave of this fucking campaign.
Oh no, he's so good.
Now, what was the problem that you saw?
I think I had like a vision or something. It was too vivid to be a dream.
Well, and being that you are elf, you don't really dream, so it must have been a vision.
We have dreams of a sort, but it's complicated than what I understand you're used to. It was from the point of view of someone else. I think it was the ruler in Distoon. And he was at a desk. And it was like I could see, like, his hands were my hands. It was my eyes were where his were. And then Crumble came in to speak to him. And he was not happy. He rarely is, but he was certainly not happy with him. And, well, he did things that I'm familiar with, and yeah, and I saw that, and I wouldn't think it felt real.
Oh shit, there's a raid.
It felt real. I mean, you have vision. Do you have visions? I'm not. I've made it.
I was trying to think.
I've made it clear several times that I don't understand gods or magic, and I don't understand
Grunt
how.
nods, but then signs. But usually it's just an animal.
I don't understand what I saw or how I saw it, or what was happening. And I don't. Also, the ruler, I don't think he actually wasn't human. Like, the hands changed, and I mean, I highly doubt he's still alive. If he is, he's in no state to keep living.
Can you explain to me, like, what happened to the ruler? Like, you mean he changed?
The hands that I could see turned black and, like, clawed almost. I could hear bones cracking, and sort of like in the peripheral I could see, like, how you're aware of, if you look to the side you can see your shoulder and stuff. I could see other things, like there was like a hint of a tail and wings, and he had 6 fingers, and I think Crumble broke off horns. And
would I be able
Make
to
a religion check.
Thank you.
just
I know what you're gonna ask.
just waiting for the DM to say those words.
18.
Those, firstly, being, you can already tell, like, this is definitely like something either of an alter or a disguise self kind of spell, or maybe even a change shape. Just like from the description, that's what you're thinking. From there, this gives off signs of a Cambion. when a devil or fiend or a demon makes a deal or courtship with a mortal woman and child is given from it, a Cambion or Tiefling can be the result, depending on the individual in question. Cambions start innocent, but no matter how beloved and well taken care of, they eventually turn to their fouler natures. Which, if Crumblebottom had a Cambion as a brother, that would explain a lot. But Six Fingers. Cambions don't naturally have that, but you remember your teachings of specific kinds of demons, fiends, and such. There is one fiend who is known for giving birth to Cambions, who he also has 6 fingers, and notably blackened skin. The only difference is that Cambion, even in their human forms, can't hide it. But their name, they have many names. The salesman is what he's called by some humans, as it's just the person who wanders into town, very well dressed, and makes a lot of deals. Nobody really knows what they've offered themselves up to until it's far too late.
So, I mean, that kind of explains more about Crumble in terms of having a devil basically for a brother.
I mean, you say that it does. It answers maybe one question, but then asks several more that I don't really want to know the answer to.
Yeah. But for you to gain vision of all of this,
That's the one thing you can't discern. You don't know why she's gained this vision.
if maybe due to just happenstance, or maybe due to your connection via the Raven. No telling.
I would hope not. And besides, I don't understand why it was from his perspective. We've barely seen that person. We saw them once. I mean,
Unless it was.
I hate saying these words, but if there's anybody that would have a connection to it, would be Crumble. It would be from his perspective, wouldn't it?
Unless he was somehow able to make it from. I don't know. Very strange.
Buckley, I don't know what this means, and I don't like it.
Well, it means he's in Distoon, however long ago that vision may have been, or if that was recent. But all we can do for now is focus on our main mission, and if he dares show up, we deal with it. But we have all of us, so I'd rather.
We won't show up while we're all here.
Yeah. But
I don't know what to say to the others.
for now, we don't need to say anything. For all we know, he could just be staying in Distoon, maybe rectifying for his past, who knows.
It's Moradin.
Well, glad. I'm sorry I forgot your call there a minute ago. What's going on with the crackle? What did you need done? Do you want to try that divine intervention again?
Ancient dragon, are you taking the piss? I am not your taxi company.
The path of the potato!
but Bucky's just there like, hold please, and then he just stares into the middle distance.
Hang on, I gotta take this.
Yeah, hang on, it's my boss.
Call Seal.
No, look, I told you, I can't do Mondays.
God damn it, Murden! I told you.
How's Heidi? Oh, so anyway.
They got divorced.
Anyway, in the conversation right now. All right, thanks. Okay.
Anyway. Mwah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Anyway, now it doesn't seem like it may be a problem. If
How could it not be a
Good.
problem?
seeing as Cambians do tend to go to their darker side, and he's now leading the basically, as we've just now figured out, basically the ruler is bringing demons into the world as that, you know. He just killed him. He's probably going to, because as he intends to very well do, most likely, God fucking these goddamn mountain lions. Anyway,
You just see Grunt
for
charge
the
up.
places
Grunt
that he
here into this distance with a hammer, and you just hear a loud donk.
takes over, tries to take over places he goes, so he might be taking leadership of Distoon. Now, whether or not he will try to get rid of the demon problem or cite more, that really be sure of. But in any case, he probably won't come at us all here. Because, I mean, for all we know, he could know that we are here, but that's also something that we don't know. With him, there's a lot of things we don't know, and a lot of things do know, in terms of he comes into towns, he then takes out leadership, takes control of leadership, and then continues that leadership until it satisfies him. Now, that's what we do know. What we don't know, that's the entire question. Yeah. But, God, goddamn cat. So, for now, we should just focus on finding this well of god tears, and then see what this guardian one of us, whether it be a trial of combat, trial of wit, or whatever, maybe.
While in the distance, sun begins rising in the distance.
I feel like my back would be to the sun as it's rising, just...
Yeah.
I am a guardian child.
I am the golden boy of the campaign. I'm a good boy.
Heart ray of sunshine.
And as you all awaken for the day, everyone begins rising up. Nazu has to get kicked or a bucket of water put over his head, but he doesn't get up. You're muted, by the way.
It's your fucking pencil.
Sanji, you're muted, by the way, if you're trying to talk to her, just to let you know. that, as you all get yourselves up, you begin looking around, and you begin looking up towards the long trek ahead of you. We're going to end this.
Yay!
Ooh, fucking hell. Cool. So,
I don't give my players any crises, guys, honest.
no, you don't. You just give them all to me. You don't pick anybody else. They all come to me.
Just you.
Just me.
Don't
you
worry,
can't-
don't worry. When we get to other people's plot points, I'm going to fuck with.
You kind of volunteer for them, let's be honest.
I know, but still.
Yeah, we're wearing so much black. That's the only dig I've got.
You fucked up a perfectly good rogue, is what you did.
Look at her. You gave her anxiety.
Yeah, I could see him making that out the corner of my eye, and it was really distracting.
Right. Before the means continue, then we will leave the stream. There was actually a raid as well. Small raid of people going to. So hello to the people who
Hello,
joined. Thank you for that. That was very nice.
We shall hopefully continue this next week, hopefully roughly the same time, provided things go well.
Between 8 o'clock to 7:30 British Standard Time.
On a Saturday.
That's around 3 p.m. for real people.
Shut up, Cole!
Stupid American.
What is it in the Underdark, though?
It's about 6
Ask me.
miles of time.
Ask Nemo.
Emo isn't here.
No.
Yeah.
Nemo.
Yeah, Tio.
Uh,
Okay.
it would be. See, we've been doing this for 3 hours. It'd be Sunday at 3 in the morning.
Wow, no wonder he's gone to bed. Okay, well, thank you very much. You can join in next week
Or 4 in the
for
morning.
more dilemmas and crises. Love you all.
As-
Mwah. Bye-bye.